It's November 25th, 2021, Thanksgiving Day, and just before noon. And today we are back at the Parkman Mountain Carriage Road. And we're going to walk up the carriage road. A week ago we went up here and we went right when we got to the carriage road, and then left and then right again to get to Waterfall Bridge. Today we're taking a slightly different route. We're going to go up the carriage road here, go right when we get to the carriage road, left, and then left again. And that particular route goes up along the side of Parkman Mountain and gets to a nice open area where you have some really nice views. And that's the plan, to walk into that open area to get the nice views. So it's about 48 degrees today, but it's a little windy, 15 to 20 miles per hour from the north, and where we're going is going to be exposed to the north wind, so might be a little chilly up there just because of the wind. Anyway, let's get going. Okay, here is the beginning of the carriage road, about 150 feet from the parking lot, where there were plenty of spaces. I think people are doing the Thanksgiving dinner thing and not walking on carriage roads very much today. So we're gonna go right here and just go up the hill, a couple hundred feet, and then we'll get to the first junction where we will turn left, and we'll go up the hill another few hundred feet and get to the second junction where we will turn left again. Oh, here we go, up the carriage road. I'm just gonna walk up here 100 yards and we'll get to our first junction. Matter of fact, I can see the signs from here. And at this junction we're gonna go left. Okay, here's the first junction that we come to, and as I said, we're gonna go left, which will take us up the hill a bit. We got a big switchback, and then we will work our way up to the next junction where we can go left, which is north. Okay, we've had a little cool weather, some nights down in the upper 20s, and as you can see, one impact of that is that where water has been seeping down the rocks, it has frozen. And I expect that we'll see more ice as we go further up the carriage road. Just went around the first part of the switchback here, and we'll just go up here another quarter mile or so before we get to the second junction, where this time we'll go left instead of right. All right, I'm just a few feet from the second junction, and a nice vista looking south over Hadlock Pond, out the Great Harbor, past Great Cranberry and the Duck Islands into the Gulf of Maine. And right here is the second junction. Last week we turned right here and walked about half a mile more to Waterfall Bridge. This time we're going to turn left and continue uphill until we get out into some areas with really nice vistas where there won't be any trees blocking the view on the left side of the trail. So basically here we're going to turn north. All right, about 100 yards past the second junction, it starts to open up as we continue ascending up the carriage road. And you can see where we had a little bit of a washout, rain running down the road and washing a bit of the carriage road out. The Park Service will fix that in the spring. And here is a trail that goes up, and let's see where this trail goes. This is the Parkman mountain trail, 1.1 miles to the summit. And that will be much steeper going than the carriage road. Okay, you can see it's opening up, and we're going to start to get some views out over Mount Desert Island. We're basically right in the middle of the island here and heading north. And if we go far enough, our views will include Frenchman Bay. Here's a bit more ice on the rocks, and I'm sure whenever we've got water running we'll see more of that, because it has been cold up here the last few nights. If we look off to the west, we get some hints of better views to come. I don't know if you can see it through the trees there, but that is Somme Sound. You know, here are some more filtered views out over Somme Sound. Little cedar tree. And a bit better view right up here. And you can see some hills way over on the western side of the mountain. And some of those are actually over on the Blue Hill Peninsula. There's a nice view of the upper end of Somme Sound. And that little island over there is a spot where we have taken Tortuga and picked up a mooring right behind the island for a very pleasant evening. And that island is in Acadia National Park. So there's a nice view of Somme Sound. Let's continue up and see if the views get better. And along here where there's been water drainage, after just a couple of nights below freezing, we have a lot more ice on the rocks. And some big icicles. And here's another view looking west over Somme Sound. And in the distance, you can just see a bit of Blue Hill Bay. And the hill over there is Blue Hill. That's about 15 miles from here. And here's a little stream coming down the hill with a mighty waterfall that must be almost 2 feet high. And here is a very nice open view to the west. Again, looking across Somme Sound. That is Williams Hull Quarry Boatyard, which we've been past on Tortuga, with lots of boats hauled out and covered for the winter. And again, Blue Hill in the distance across the northern part of Blue Hill Bay. As we continue up here, the trail is gradually curving off to the right, which is turning a little bit more easterly. So we should start getting views of the northern part of the island pretty soon. And here's a nice unobstructed view looking to the west and a little bit west-northwest. As we continue, you can start to see a bit of what's visible on the northern part of the island. And you can see the northern bit of Blue Hill Bay over there. And actually, I think that's part of Trenton, and we might be looking at Upper Frenchman Bay over there. So we go up here and go around this next corner. I think we're going to have some views looking at the northern part of Mount Desert Island. As we continue up, we start getting more northerly views. The northern end of Somme Sound is the close water, and then the northern end of Blue Hill Bay. And what looks like land there is where the causeway to the mainland is, and then we can just see a little bit of the northern end of Frenchman Bay. Well, we're about 55 minutes into the walk, and I believe we've reached the high point on this trail, and we get a nice view looking north toward the northern and western end of Frenchman Bay over there. And if we continued, the trail does go around this next ridge, but I don't think we have time to do that today because it is about 1:30 now, and I think it's time to head back, especially since we appear to have reached the high point in this part of the trail. Okay, so after a 55-minute walk, we've reached the high point of this carriage road, and it's just going to descend down toward Bar Harbor. And we really do not want to walk that far today, so we're going to head back. Just a tiny bit of climbing until we get back to the high point, and then a descent back to where we left the car. But this carriage road has some really nice panoramic views over the western and northwestern parts of Mount Desert Island, and is very much worth the walk. And even though it ascends steadily for the better part of an hour at the pace we were making, it's not a hard walk and very definitely worth it. So that wraps up today's carriage road walk around the mountain trail, around Parkman Mountain, that is. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't, why don't you consider subscribing to my channel? And I'll just say thanks for watching.